Hello everyone and welcome back to Evolution Worlds. I've got some explaining to do. Before we get over to the next dungeon and all the cutscenes preceding it, I thought we'd look at the original Evolution on the Dreamcast as well as add some annotations, the vocal kind, to stuff that happened in the last video, so let's get on that. The first two things I think you'll notice about the original Evolution are that the graphics are very different in their style, so is Mag's outfit, and the dialogue is mostly the same, but is completely absent of any kind of voice work in the American release. While the characters are recognizably the same in the GameCube remake, they definitely have a different style, different hair, and different proportions in the original Dreamcast version. One of the largest changes from Evolution to Evolution Worlds is how much they downsized Pan Am Town. It's much larger and you can do much more in the original Dreamcast release. It was presumably downsized because you only visited a couple times in the GameCube version. Unlike the GameCube version, you can't zoom in your camera perspective, though you can rotate it. One of the things I find most interesting about the changed character dialogue is that in the original Dreamcast release, references to Mag's debt are everywhere, and repaying his debt is actually a mechanic. You can see here that Nash even mentions Mag's debt directly, and no such mention is made in the GameCube version. Back to exploring the town, the bar in this version is actually a bar instead of just a milk bar. A lot of the mature themes and ideas from the Dreamcast release are toned down in the GameCube version for some reason. In fact, the only mention of milk is as a brief joke when you talk to the bartender here. There's an Imperial sailor later when you visit Eugene for the first time who directly talks about having a beer in case you have any doubts about the contents of the bottles behind the counter. The Cyframe upgrade shop has one of the saddest differences in that there's a girl named Patty in the Dreamcast version who thinks of Linear like a sister. And I'm not sure why they felt the need to remove this particular aspect of the town. It doesn't really get in the way of the streamlined approach the GameCube release took. When you go to upgrade your Cyframe, Linear even sits down and plays with Patty. Lastly, the society building in the original version is not fully automated. You can walk over and talk to both Nop and Nina at your will, and perhaps most importantly, you can actually freely choose which ruin you want to visit after you accept an assignment. There are 5 ruins in the original Dreamcast release, but only 2 in the GameCube version, so this feature was probably deemed unnecessary. There are some things that haven't changed all that much though. The combat works on relatively the same principles as the GameCube release. Of course there are going to be different attacks and animations, but it's the same idea. This game does seem to place a lot of importance on elemental and attribute-based attacks, which is not something I honestly noticed in Evolution Worlds at all, so maybe I'll have to watch out for that. And this next observation is purely subjective, but I do think that the Dreamcast versions of the dungeons have more artistic merit to them. They have more decorations, and they get a lot more surreal the deeper you go into them. Of course, they're also way longer, so... Oh yeah, they're trapped still. So, you know, depends on what you want, really. Keep in mind that every comparison discussed here is only valid toward the first act of Evolution Worlds, as the second act is much more similar to its Dreamcast counterpart, but I thought these changes were worth pointing out. Now back to Evolution Worlds, there is something I was definitely wrong about. Mag's hammer skills are definitely not stronger than his hand skills, and they're mostly used to move enemies around the field or cause various effects. This makes sense and was probably done to balance out Mag's hand skills, which are mostly straightforward offensive stuff. Something I actually didn't know and couldn't research myself because I didn't even think to look for it is that you can learn skills outside of battle in addition to learning them in battle for free. The reason you'd want to learn them outside of battle is of course because some skills are very situational. Some critics actually complained that you couldn't learn skills outside of battle, so it's good to know that that complaint is invalid and the developers did in fact think about that. So thank you very much for that information, Colin. Now one final annotation, not really something I was wrong about, but something I was lazy about. Changing the battle formation of your characters does make the game go a lot faster, so it's probably a good idea even if it's not necessary, which it absolutely isn't necessary. Mag should be at the front, and Gray and Linear should be at the back, to make the battles go as quickly as possible. This is something I partially fixed halfway through the second dungeon after I realized my mistake. Now with all of that information out of the way, I do believe we have a date with even more cutscenes.
Sir, a massive energy reaction. Whatever it is, it's huge.
Aha! So it is here after all. It must be evolution, the most important legacy from the ancient civilization.
Sir, I have the numbers. The first response was indeterminate, then 9,200. No, 9,300 every 2 seconds.
Wonderful. Now tell me, where is it coming from?
Approximately 20 parses north-northwest of here, near Pan Am Town, sir.
Panam Town. Ah yes, the home of Asrock Launcher. I knew that little brat was hiding something. It seems a little spying is in order. I wonder what we will find. Listen, send a message to the homeland requesting official deployment of the 4th Fleet, now on standby. Tell them we need reinforcements to protect the research vessel. They'll believe that. Ah, my sweet Linear. What a coincidence that we should meet at a place like this. This rendezvous of ours must have been predestined by fate. I had these brought here just for you. I hope you like roses. Roses and women both begin to lose their beauty once they have blossomed. Wouldn't you agree, my dear? Don't you get it? A rose is most beautiful when it first begins to bud, and so it is with women, and with you. Now, Linear, you and I will be together.
Hey, Linear, is the tea ready yet? Linear?
Drat! Right at the good part. Well, if it isn't Mag Launcher, I trust you are well.
You! Eugene, what are you doing here?
Today I thought I would take a break from work and mingle with ordinary civilians such as yourself. As two people both searching for Evolutia, we should learn to see eye to eye, don't you think? Instead of standing around talking here, I will sample your local hospitality at that shabby-looking house over there. I can tell what a marvelous adventurer your father was just by looking at you. I hope to meet him someday. I wonder when I will get the chance.
No one knows. We haven't heard anything from him since he wrote the letter that Linear was carrying that day.
That is correct. Linear has already been with us for 3 years.
Ah, so she was not born into this family?
No, she wasn't. She came here 3 years ago. That was the first time we ever saw her.
So she is not a launcher by blood?
I already told you. She first came here 3 years ago, carrying a letter from my father. Of course, she's family now. Isn't that right, Linear?
You don't suppose 3 years ago? So that's it! Now I see! You'll have to excuse me now. I just remembered something wonderful that I must do immediately.
Huh? What's he talking about? What's something wonderful? That guy is just weird. Hey, Linear, do you think he and I will ever see eye to eye?
What shall I do, Your Highness?
Get her! Get the girl!
Yes, Your Highness!
What's that Eugene up to? Why did he leave in such a hurry? Oh well, at least we got rid of that weirdo. All right then, come on, Linear. We've got work to do today.
Good luck to the both of you. I will be awaiting your return.
Welcome to the Society. Another adventure today, Mag? Your enthusiasm is admirable.
Yeah, I will take another assignment. The last adventure proved just how good I am, hey?
You bet! You do such good work, it makes things easier for us, too. Really?
With those 8th Imperial Army goons out looking for Evolutia, I have to get busy.
Oh, by the way, one side of ruins will be blockaded while the 8th Imperial Army conducts an archaeological survey. One of their soldiers was bragging that the 8th Imperial Army is high-tech in all of its archaeological surveys.
The ruins are blockaded? You mean we can't even get inside?
I know you don't like it, but we don't either. Besides, it's only one site, so bear with us for a little while.
Hey, wait a minute. I thought the Society was an academic organization. Since when did you go military?
Their survey team uses high-tech equipment, and the soldiers can take care of the monsters. The survey's objectives are scientific, so the Society's directors just couldn't say no, apparently.
I just don't know. Oh well, the survey will be over soon anyway.
I have an assignment for different ruins if you're interested. Will this do?
Okay, I got it. Sure, I'll do it.
All right, I'll get you clearance right away. You can leave on your new adventure whenever you're ready. Well then, good luck. Give it your best, Mag.
Come on, Linear, let's go.
Welcome back to normal, I guess you could say. We're gonna go grab a party member that isn't Gray. Don't worry, we will see Gray again before the end of the game. He has a lot of abilities we haven't even touched yet. Don't get the idea that we're going to see everyone's abilities, though, because there are some that I'm not even aware of. Now, we are going to grab Chain this time, and it's worth noting that Chain and Pepper will both take some of your money when you finish a dungeon. Though I never thought this was really important, because there's plenty of items in the dungeons for you to use. You don't really need to buy any.
So you're finally going to invite me on an adventure? I'd be glad to help anytime. Now you're talking. I'll honor you with my presence. Leave everything to me. Of course, I'll take whatever I can get.
What do you mean you'll take whatever you can get?
Those 8th Imperial Army troops in town are nothing but bad news. Long ago, before we came here, the Gunn family leader got into a dust-up with them over an excavation at the ruins. That was a real mess, a big headache. I would steer clear of them if I were you. It's for your own good.
That's more information you would never receive if you didn't go out of your way to get it. Everyone in the town has different things to say this time.
I heard that 8th Imperial Army soldiers have come. I wonder what they're like. I hope there are some cute ones. Oh, what should I do if I meet one of them and we fall in love at first sight? That would be a real international love affair. Ooh, how exciting! How romantic!
It's so unfair to everyone. The port is the only way in or out of town. But the 8th Imperial Army has it clogged up. I've heard of plans to build a railroad on the continent and even extend it to this town. I wish they would hurry up.
A railroad, huh? Wow, that would be great. Then I could visit the ruins on the continent.
It's called Operation Rail Link. Seems too good to be true, but I hear that the Republic is serious about it.
So we've got our mission and caught up on all the latest gossip. Now the only thing we have to deal with is all this stuff we're carrying around in our pockets. We're going to combine the healing items and then go and sell the rest because, as I said, there are plenty of items just hanging around in the dungeons. We're going to spend a long time in here messing around with items, but I assure you nothing of interest actually occurs. I think I equipped Mag with a new hat, and that's about it. So let's just go ahead and skip past this little transaction. So with all that out of the way, I think that's it for this video, and next time we will go explore the second dungeon. I expected to explore the second dungeon in this video originally, but I wanted to show off the original evolution, so we'll have to do that next time. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you soon.
With the sea
Like
on
really
the sea,
soon.
We can go to the ruins near Pan Am Town or anywhere else in just one hop.